Okay, so I've had a couple of questions about height maps and stamping and whatnot, so I'm just going to give a brief tour of what exactly this means. This is a DTM, or digital height map. It is a black and white or grayscale representation of height in any game, or however you want to see it, but for use of 7 Days to Die, it goes like this. So black, the actual color for black is 0, 0, 0. It means it's 0 red, 0 blue, 0 green. So that's black. That also happens to represent 0 world height level. So if you're looking inside the 7 Days to Die world, if you go to 0, it's going to be on a height map represented as black. Straight white, or 255, 255, 255, is going to be 255 high in the world. So if you had something like 60, 60, 60, that's 60 high in the world, and that would represent a different color grayscale. Kind of give you an idea of that. We'll just do 60, 60, 60. Let's see. I guess it's, here it goes, 60, 60, 60. So this is 60, 60, 60. 150, 150, 150. This color is 150 blocks high. So this is a 2D representation of that. The game then, Unity, translates this into a 3D representation, and that's pretty much what this is. So you can see this volcano here is extra high, and when you look in Photoshop, that's this area right here. It's extra high. And then way at the bottom, it's pretty low and dark. And that's because it sinks all the way down to the bottom. So this is a 3D representation of this 2D height map. So this is essentially what the game does, is it builds the height map based off of that, and this is how we get a terrain. Now, this isn't exactly a one-to-one conversion with 7 Days to Die, but that's no big deal. It's pretty damn close. Like, I do have a volcano in the map. So when people talk about stamping, what they mean is these things. This is a stamp. So this is, if I were to choose a mountain, right, and I were to choose the Andes Mountain, which is this height map, so I go to my stamper, and I drag this over here. Well, that's actually what this is. This is the Andes Mountain. I don't know what the Andes Mountain looks like, but if I can put Devil's Tower here, now this is Devil's Tower. And you can see Devil's Tower right here, this little peak right here. So stamping, all that means is bringing another height map in, and if I wanted to add a peak, like right here, I would say okay, and I would go ahead and I would stamp it. And then it does the magic, and then now when I remove it, now I've got this peak right here. So it stamped this tower on top of this other terrain, and it made all the other stuff match. So if you actually looked at it this way, you see it kind of matches dead on. Now Unity says, okay, we got all this floating area. Well, it's not going to stamp that because it's not actually touching the ground, so it only stamps the parts that actually merge. That's what makes it kind of cool. So that's what stamping is. So now if I were to go in game, I would have this tower right here. It'd be kind of cool. So, and you can choose, like, say, Mount Everest. That'd be a cool one to do, right? Mount Everest, drag it over, and now this is Mount Everest. This is a 3D representation of Mount Everest. And I want to put it over, say, here, for instance. So I'd go like, okay, so this is Mount Everest, and I would stamp it. And now, part of Mount Everest. And anyway, that's what stamping is. This is how Gaia and Unity make 3D terrain look. And this is what it looks like in Photoshop as a DTM map, and this is what the game reads. So basically, you go to Unity, you make this by using all these different stamps, you turn it into an image file, and then the game turns it back into voxels.